Hey there, wonderful folks. Have you ever found yourself hesitating at the top of the stairs, wondering if you can make it down as easily as you used to? Or maybe you've noticed you're leaning on your kids or grandkids a little more for help with things you used to do without a second thought? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Independence is something we all cherish, especially as we get older. And it's not just about physical strength, it's about feeling confident, capable, and in control of your life. But sometimes life throws little curveballs that can chip away at that independence, and they can sneak up on you if you're not paying attention. Today, we're diving into a topic that's close to my heart: 7 signs you might be losing your independence. And more importantly, some simple, practical fixes you can start using right now to stay in the driver's seat of your life. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, this video is all about empowering you to live with confidence and freedom. We're going to walk through these 7 signs together, and I promise we'll have a little fun along the way. After all, aging is just another adventure, right? So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's get started with the first sign. One of the first signs you might be losing independence is if you're struggling to keep up with daily tasks. You know, things like cooking a meal, tidying up the house, or even getting dressed in the morning. Maybe you used to whip up a delicious pot roast for Sunday dinner, but now the idea of standing in the kitchen for an hour feels overwhelming. Or perhaps you've noticed you're leaving dishes in the sink longer than you used to because it just feels like too much effort. These little changes can be easy to brush off. After all, who hasn't had a lazy day? But when they start piling up, they can signal that your energy or physical ability isn't what it used to be. Now, don't worry. This isn't about feeling bad or thinking you're not capable. It's about recognizing the signs so you can take action. One fix for this is to break tasks into smaller, manageable chunks. For example, if cooking a full meal feels like climbing a mountain, try prepping just one part of it in the morning, like chopping veggies, and then tackle the rest later. Or invest in some time-saving gadgets. A slow cooker can be a game changer for easy, healthy meals without all the fuss. Another tip is to set a timer for 10 minutes and tackle one small task, like folding laundry or wiping down the counter. You'd be amazed at how much you can get done in a short burst, and it builds momentum. My friend Betty, who's 72, swears by her 10-minute tidy rule. She says it keeps her house in order and her spirits high. Small steps like these can help you stay on top of daily tasks and feel like you've got this. Another way to tackle this is to ask for help strategically. I know. Asking for help can feel like waving a white flag, but hear me out. Independence doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means making smart choices to keep your life running smoothly. Maybe you hire a neighbor's teenager to mow the lawn or get your groceries delivered once a week. That frees up your energy for the things you love, like gardening or spending time with your grandkids. The goal is to stay in control of your routine, not to let it control you. Speaking of routines, let's move on to the second sign. You're moving less or avoiding physical activity. Maybe you used to love your morning walks around the neighborhood, but lately you're skipping them because your knees ache or you're worried about tripping. Or perhaps you've stopped going to that chair yoga class because you feel a bit unsteady. It's totally normal to slow down a bit as we age, but cutting back on movement can make you feel less confident and more dependent on others for things like getting around or running errands. The good news? You don't need to run a marathon to stay active. Start small and focus on what feels good. If walking feels tough, try a gentle stretching routine at home. There are tons of free videos online designed for seniors, and they're often led by instructors who feel like old friends. If balance is a concern, practice standing on one foot while holding onto a chair for support. Do it while brushing your teeth, and you'll be multitasking like a pro. My Uncle Joe, who's 68, started doing this after he tripped on his porch, and he says it's made him feel steadier than ever. Another great option is water aerobics. Being in the pool takes the pressure off your joints, and it's honestly just fun to splash around. The key is to find something you enjoy so it doesn't feel like a chore. If you're worried about safety, talk to your doctor or a physical therapist about exercises that are right for you. They can suggest moves that build strength and balance without pushing you too hard. And here's a little trick. Music makes everything better. Put on some classic tunes, maybe a little Elvis or Aretha, and have a mini dance party in your living room. It's exercise, it's fun, and it'll put a smile on your face. Staying active keeps your body strong and your confidence high, so you can keep doing the things you love without needing a helping hand. Now, the third sign is one that can be a bit sneaky. You're relying more on others for decision-making. Maybe you've always been the one to plan family gatherings or handle the bills, but lately you're deferring to your kids or a friend because it feels easier. It's great to have support, but if you're handing over the reins on decisions you used to make confidently, it could be a sign that you're feeling less sure of yourself. This one hit home for my neighbor Margaret, who's 75. She used to love organizing her book club, but she started letting her daughter pick the books and set the dates because she was worried about making the wrong choice. She didn't even realize how much she was stepping back until her daughter pointed out. The fix here is all about rebuilding that decision-making muscle. Start with small choices, like picking a new recipe to try or deciding which day to visit a friend. Write down your options and give yourself permission to choose without overthinking it. If bigger decisions, like managing finances, feel overwhelming, break them down. For example, set aside 15 minutes to review your bank statement with a cup of coffee, or ask a trusted friend to sit with you while you go through it. There are also free community programs, like senior financial workshops, that can help you feel more confident. The goal is to keep your brain engaged and your confidence strong, so you're still the one calling the shots. Taking charge of your decisions, staying active, and tackling daily tasks are all about holding on to that sense of freedom we all crave. As we keep going, we'll explore a few more signs that might be creeping into your life and some easy ways to push back. Stick with me, because we're just getting warmed up on this journey to staying independent and thriving at any age. So, we've talked about how struggling with daily tasks, moving less, and leaning too much on others for decisions can start to nibble away at your independence. But don't worry, we're not just pointing out problems here. We're all about solutions, and there are some great ways to keep your confidence and freedom front and center. Let's keep the conversation going with the next couple of signs that might be popping up in your life, and I'll share some practical fixes that are easy to weave into your day. Ready? Let's dive in. The fourth sign you might be losing independence is if you're feeling more isolated or pulling back from social activities. Maybe you used to love chatting with neighbors over the fence or meeting up with friends for coffee, but lately you're staying home more. It could be because getting out feels like a hassle. Maybe driving at night isn't as comfortable, or you're worried about keeping up with the conversation. Or sometimes it's just easier to stay in your cozy recliner with a good show. I get it. My friend Clara, who's 71, used to be the life of her knitting group, but she started skipping meetings because her hearing wasn't what it used to be, and she felt embarrassed asking people to repeat themselves. Here's the thing, staying connected is like oxygen for your independence. When you pull back from social stuff, you miss out on the laughter, support, and energy that keep you feeling like you. So let's talk fixes. First, if something like hearing loss or mobility is holding you back, don't be shy about addressing it. A quick check-in with your doctor might lead to a hearing aid or a cane that makes getting around a breeze. Clara got a hearing aid and now she's back to cracking jokes at her knitting circle. If transportation's an issue, look into community shuttle services or rideshare apps designed for seniors. They're often cheaper than you think and can get you to that coffee date without stress. Another way to stay connected is to bring the social to you. Invite a friend over for tea or start a low-key book club at your place. You don't need to plan a big event. Just a couple of pals and some good conversation can recharge your batteries. And don't sleep on technology. Video calls are a lifesaver if getting out is tricky. My cousin Ed, who's 69, started a weekly Zoom call with his old college buddies, and they laugh like they're back in the dorms. Even something as simple as sending a text or calling a friend to catch up can keep those connections tight. The goal is to stay engaged, because those relationships give you the confidence to keep living life on your terms. Now let's move on to the fifth sign. You're noticing memory slips that make you second-guess yourself. Maybe you're forgetting where you park the car more often, or you blank on a neighbor's name mid-conversation. It's easy to laugh off the occasional senior moment, but if these slips are making you feel less confident or reliant on others to fill in the gaps, it's worth paying attention. I remember my Aunt Linda, who's 74, started avoiding hosting family dinners because she was afraid she'd forget an ingredient or mix up the schedule. It wasn't that her memory was failing her completely, she just didn't trust herself like she used to. The good news is you can sharpen your memory and boost your confidence with some simple habits. One of the best is to keep your brain active. Think of it like a workout for your mind. Puzzles like crosswords or Sudoku are great, but so is learning something new. Maybe a card game or a few phrases in Spanish for that trip you've been dreaming about. My Uncle Ray, who's 70, started playing online chess with his grandson, and he swears it's made him quicker on his feet mentally. Another tip is to create routines that take the pressure off your memory. Keep a small notebook or use your phone to jot down appointments, shopping lists, or even where you parked. It's not about admitting defeat, it's about being smart and staying in control. Another big helper is sleep. I know it sounds basic, but getting enough rest can make a huge difference in how sharp you feel. Aim for a consistent bedtime and try to avoid heavy meals or screen time right before bed. If you're still feeling foggy, check in with your doctor. Sometimes things like medication side effects or vitamin deficiencies can play a role. The point is, small tweaks can help you trust your memory again, so you're not leaning on others to remind you of the little things. It's all about keeping your mind as independent as your spirit. Let's talk about the sixth sign. You're avoiding new technology or tools that could make life easier. Maybe your kids got you a smartphone, but you're sticking to your trusty flip phone because learning the new one feels like decoding a spaceship manual. Or perhaps you've heard about those smart home gadgets, like a voice-activated assistant, but you're convinced they're more trouble than they're worth. I totally get it. New tech can feel overwhelming. My neighbor George, who's 76, used to roll his eyes every time his daughter mentioned online banking. He'd say, "I've got my checkbook, and that's worked for 50 years. But here's the deal. Embracing just a little bit of technology can actually boost your independence. It's not about becoming a tech wizard. It's about using tools that save you time and effort. Start small. If you're nervous about a smartphone, ask a grandkid to show you one thing, like how to send a text. Make it fun. Maybe send them a silly emoji to practice. Or try a tablet for video calls. The bigger screen can be easier on the eyes. For George, the turning point was when his daughter showed him how to order groceries online. Now he loves that he doesn't have to lug heavy bags from the store. If smart home devices intrigue you, something like a voice-activated speaker can be a great start. You can ask it to set reminders, play your favorite music, or even tell you a joke when you need a laugh. The key is to pick one or two tools that solve a specific problem for you, and don't feel pressured to use every gadget out there. There are even free classes at libraries or senior centers that teach tech basics in a friendly, no-pressure way. By dipping your toes into technology, you're opening up new ways to stay independent, whether it's managing your bills online or keeping in touch with family across the country. We've covered a lot of ground here, from staying social to sharpening your memory and giving technology a chance. Each of these steps is about building a life where you feel capable and in charge. As we wrap up this part, we're going to head into the final sign and tie everything together with some encouragement to keep you motivated. Stick with me because we're almost there, and I've got some great tips to share. All right, we're in the home stretch now, and I'm so glad you're still with me. We've talked about how things like struggling with daily tasks, moving less, leaning on others for decisions, pulling back socially, memory slips, and avoiding new technology can quietly chip away at your independence. But the real magic has been in the fixes, those practical, doable steps you can take to keep living life on your terms. Let's dive into the final sign and wrap things up with some encouragement to keep you feeling empowered and ready to thrive. Here we go. The seventh sign you might be losing independence is if you're ignoring small health issues or brushing off regular checkups. Maybe you've noticed your vision's a bit blurry when you read the newspaper, but you figure it's just part of getting older. Or perhaps you've been feeling more tired than usual, but you tell yourself it's nothing a nap can't fix. It's easy to shrug off these little changes. Nobody wants to spend their day at the doctor's office, right? But my friend Dorothy, who's 73, learned this the hard way. She kept ignoring a nagging pain in her foot, thinking it was just arthritis acting up. Turns out it was a small injury that got worse because she didn't get it checked, and it kept her from her beloved gardening for months. Here's why this matters. Those small health issues can snowball into bigger problems that limit what you can do. Blurry vision might make you hesitant to drive, or untreated fatigue could sap your energy for the things you love. Staying on top of your health is like keeping your car tuned up. It keeps you running smoothly so you can go where you want, when you want. The fix here starts with making those doctor's appointments non-negotiable. Think of them as your independence insurance. Get your eyes checked, have your hearing tested, and talk to your doctor about any aches, pains, or changes in how you feel. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're smart and proactive. Another great habit is to keep a simple health journal. Jot down how you're feeling each day, even if it's just a sentence or two. Maybe you notice you're out of breath after climbing the stairs, or your hands feel stiffer in the morning. Sharing those notes with your doctor can help them spot patterns and catch things early. And don't skip the basics. Eating colorful fruits and veggies, drinking enough water, and taking your meds as prescribed can make a huge difference. Dorothy started working with a physical therapist after her foot healed, and now she's back to tending her roses with a spring in her step. Small health tweaks can keep you doing what you love without needing extra help. Now, as we bring this all together, let's think about what these 7 signs: struggling with tasks, moving less, relying on others for decisions, pulling back socially, memory slips, avoiding tech, and ignoring health issues have in common. They're all little signals that your independence might be slipping, but there are also opportunities to take action. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start with one small change, like doing a 10-minute stretch in the morning, calling a friend to catch up, or scheduling that eye exam you've been putting off. Each step you take is like adding a brick to the foundation of your confidence and freedom. I know change can feel daunting, especially when you're used to doing things a certain way. But here's the truth. You're stronger than you think, and you've got a lifetime of wisdom to draw on. Think about all the challenges you've faced and overcome: raising kids, building a career, or just navigating life's ups and downs. You've got this. And the beauty of these fixes is that they're not about becoming someone new. They're about helping you stay the vibrant, capable person you already are. Whether it's mastering a smartphone to video chat with your grandkids or finding a new way to stay active, every choice you make to stay independent is a victory. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you noticed any of these signs in your life? Maybe you found a clever way to stay on top of daily tasks or a fun activity that keeps you moving. Share your stories. I read every comment, and I know our community will love hearing from you. Your experience could inspire someone else to take that first step. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more folks who could use a little encouragement. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a video. We're all about sharing tips to help you live your best life, no matter your age. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Independence isn't about doing everything alone. It's about having the freedom to choose how you live, who you connect with, and what brings you joy. You deserve to feel confident, capable, and in charge of your days. So take one small step today and then another tomorrow. Before you know it, you'll be standing taller, smiling wider, and living life with that spark that makes you, well, you. Here's to thriving, laughing, and embracing every moment, because you've got so many more adventures ahead. I'll see you in the next video.